Vito, you said you found something in the movie world that's got you a little crazy.
So I was watching for the first time ever. I'd never seen the original Sister Act movie. And at the end of this movie, they did this thing where they showed a bunch of like fake magazine ads with the star and headlines. And I thought, I've seen this in like 10 other movies. Like in Bill and Ted, it's at the end. And in the 90s, it was just a weird plot, like thing every movie did. And it got me starting of these things movies do that, like, one, don't happen in real life.
And this is the lack of creativity that takes place of people who don't have a fucking creative idea, so they try to just do what everybody else does. The first time I saw this take place was in a Bill Murray movie. Think, Vito. Think. Where they all got out.
Was it Stripes?
It was Stripes.
I don't even remember that from the end of Stripes.
Remember like something about fucking John Candy was in something and there's like little hearts around them. Here's one. There's the J-Lo movie. She's got a rom-com coming out. I think it's called Second Chance, and it's about a incredibly beautiful woman who gets a second chance with a giant New York apartment, a chance to go on this spending spree, a wonderful job, and quite the hunk that likes her. And who would have thought it would happen to somebody like Jennifer Lopez? But already in that, it's the ladies in the kitchen doing a dance together, showing that sisterly love.
Why is that trope is so bizarre?
It's a way of saying we have to do dishes, but it doesn't mean it can't be Motown fun.
You know what would be fun?
Yeah.
Some margaritas with this.
I've never seen anybody in a movie like, oh, fuck, I got some serious money problems right now. I'm extended. Not in a rom-com. Everybody's doing pretty fucking good for themselves.
They're dancing while doing dishes.
Yeah, you know what? It's really fun. I don't know, Vito. Just there's no fucking... people are afraid to have ideas.
There's another one in rom-coms that I always see where, like, once somebody tries to make a deal with somebody else and then they like use a loophole and run away and are like, oh, well, you have to spend the day with my mom. And then the other person doesn't go, well, then the deal's off. They just go, oh, now I have to spend the day with this person's mother.
I'm a little confused by this one. I don't know this at all.
I'm just explaining it poorly.
Yeah.
So
look, I'm going to tell you where I think you're trying to get. Something comes up, whether it's the ownership of a home or a business, and the only way that it could be solved is by the good guys and the bad guys playing a water polo match.
Yeah.
And I don't think that would hold up in a single court of law.
Happy Gilmore's going to win his grandma's house back by beating Shooter McGavin in the PGA finals.
So the good thing is, like, at least that was a real sport where people do bet. Some of this shit, I don't understand why anybody would bet on it.
Yeah, and it always comes down to one, like if it's a poker movie, it comes down to one final hand.
Sure.
Like there's no lead up to the,
No.
It's just one final hand where everybody goes all in. So the rest of the game has meant nothing.
What we're saying is movies really suck and suck hard.
The amount of movies that use, I see the timer on the explosive and I slow motion turn as I'm outrunning Fireball. It's crazy. The amount of outrun explosions. It's like shot for shot the same as every other fucking movie.
Yeah, none of them know how to make movies anymore. I think that we're at a point now where, like, maybe the studios are saying, how would this even work? You know what I mean? Give me an example, and you have to tell them Shooter McGavin, and then they go, oh.
Oh, like that. It's a Shooter McGavin situation.
SNL did a thing a while ago where it was like bad guys walking away from explosions, where it was just a music video about like that exact thing, where everybody has a cool fucking slow motion.
Why wouldn't you want to look back and see the explosion that you just fucking created? Why wouldn't that matter to you?
Don't care.
Yeah.
Too cool for that.
Yeah, I would like to say, oh shit, I hope I'm not too close when this fireball comes across.
Also, as a bartender, never once did anybody sit there for hours and tell me about a girl they had been thinking about for years, a relationship that just crumbled. They just sat at the bar by themselves and didn't speak.
Here's one. Leave the bottle. What? Sir, that is illegal.
Sir,
I couldn't possibly leave this bottle with you.
I'm not even sure how you'd like me to calculate your tab after this. I don't know how many shots are in that.
Well, maybe the reason that people never talked with you like that, Vito, is why you're not still a bartender.
Yeah, I wasn't really a people person in
Yeah.
that industry. I just wanted to get my shift over with and make as much money as possible.
You know what really bugs me is hanging up the phone without saying goodbye. No one says goodbye in movies on the phone.
Not
And I would
on
love-
movies or TV. They just hang up.
Like, you'll call, you'll say the fact that you needed to convey to get the plot moving, and then that person just hangs up. Nobody ever just calls back and go, hey, were we disconnected? Or I just didn't even hear you respond to what I just told you.
No, and or no one ever even goes like this. What the fuck? Who just fucking hangs up like that?
So you're always
That was
getting
rude.
You're always getting the other side of the conversation completely from one end as well. You're always getting somebody. Every response is, "Oh, so you went to Italy?" You say.
Yeah,
It's just
it
lazy.
doesn't really make a fucking huge amount of sense.
It's really lazy.
Yeah.
No, that's always in cop movies too, where they just go like, "Do it," and then, and that's it. They're like, okay, they don't say the where or the
Right.
how. Or
Do you actually lose your badge? Like, do they actually say, "Give me your gun and badge"? Has a
First
sergeant
of
ever
all,
said that?
there's protocol that you don't even have to ask for the gun and badge. You've been in a shootout, even if it was a good shoot, you're off the street. You're not now going back out there to finish the job. You're off the fucking street for months until this runs through the entire thing that is set up. It's not personal.
We have a lot of paperwork to do, and we'll get back to you on this situation.
What does the loss of badge do?
Can I ask a quick question? Why is there a million fucking waters, some in very odd places?
I don't know. There should only be 3.
Who's running
It's like an
this
Easter egg
fucking
hunt.
show
I've-
with the interns?
I've told them before, just bring in 2 waters, 3, but I don't know why there's 5 right now. There's
And-
not 5 people.
But who's the interns? Are they-
Vinay and Chris.
Which one of them is fucking technically insane? And why can't you get these guys going? You've always done a great job with the interns.
This semester has been the worst I've ever had in the 3 years I've been here.
I mean, you realize if the interns were a football team, your job would be on the line right
No,
now.
yeah.
There'd be sports radio just fucking, what is wrong with Vito, man? He's lost it.
I would be done by week 3.
He doesn't want it this year. And other people going, it's who feels like rebooting entire intern team? I say we hold on to them like they do in Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis, how do you fucking get away with that? How do you fucking get away with that?
he has to have something on the owner.
Who knows? Who knows? And then the guy who they brought in to maybe replace him is worse. I mean, this is Marvin Lewis is the most genius thing forever. You know what I mean? It's like, well, if I'm not going to be president, then Vice President Charlie Manson will have to take over.
Is it 15 years now?
So you feel like it isn't your fault. You just got handed
No.
impossible interns this year. I mean, if that's what you feel.
It's partially my fault because I think I'm dumb enough to think if you say something a few times, it gets understood.
Yeah.
So that's on me.
No. That's definitely not fucking true because people ignore. They just fucking ignore.
Yeah.
Honestly, it sounds like we should have your badge for this.
I don't want to give up my gun and badge.
And by your badge, we mean your pubes.
I don't want to touch the badge.
I mean, I'll give you my
Well,
pubes.
that's from that I Shot Andy Warhol movie. I forget the girl's name. She was the one that they sang so many songs about in that fucking teen movie, remember? Oh, no, she wrote all the songs about Joe.
Oh, yes. I can't think of her name.
She's such a fucking
yeah.
great actress.
Lily Taylor?
There you go.
Yay,
Earl, you
great
moved up to the
job.
top of the fucking food chain today.
You actually get an extra badge.
So she actually pulled her pants down and I Shot Andy Warhol and said, this is my badge right here. I'm hoping that was improvised scene. The double-decker bus.
Otherwise, can you imagine reading the script? I love it. Just have one little problem. It's like
Yeah.
the part
There-
with my pubes.
Yeah. There's a scene in here. Let me see where it is. Oh, oddly, it's page 69. I didn't expect that.
There was a line in Creed 2 that was one of the. Well, I don't understand how it was written down on paper. Creed says to Rocky, "Have you seen this kid before?" Talking about Drago's son, and Rocky goes, "Yeah, I saw him on the sports TV once."
What?
The sports TV. That's the television that just shows sports. Dude, you expect us to feel bad for you.
No,
Creed 2 blue.
it just
Creed
was-
1 blue, Rocky 5 blue, Rocky 4 blue. It's like you showing up and telling me that the new Aquaman is a disappointment. I don't know how to deal with this.
Earl did turn to us in the office today and go, "So do you guys think this new Aquaman movie's going to suck?"
Oh, so you guys stuck to each other. Oh,
No, I
it's great.
just said it does. This is gonna suck, isn't it?
Earl, you don't like it because you don't swim.
Has fish and swimming, two things I don't like.
Wait,
You don't like fish?
I mean, I like fish, goldfish, but I don't like to eat fish. I'm not a big seafood eater.
First of all, I'm just interested that you love goldfish.
Out of all the fucking aquarium fish, perhaps the dullest ever. They're the pawns of the fish world.
Oh my
If we were
God.
playing fish chess.
When you're a kid and you want a pet, and then your parent says, we could get a goldfish, you're like, just forget it then. Just never mind.
I don't think my parents ever bought one. I only got one at carnivals.
Yeah.
That's how I got one.
Yeah. That's a way of punishing the fucking marks. Now, Earl, you're saying you don't like to eat fish. And we've been through the seafood thing before, and I'm adamant. And I've been in a debate since talking to you guys. I say fish is not seafood. Okay? It may live in the sea, but if someone took me out and said, "Hey, we're having seafood," and it was just fish, I go, "This is a fish house."
So, like, you don't consider fried fish seafood?
I do not. I do not.
He
I
wants to
consider
be
that
able
fish.
to crack a shell in order to eat seafood.
Let me tell you something, Earl. The next time you and your running buddies go out to a big steakhouse, right? Go and look. Notice the menu. It'll say fish, and then underneath that, it'll say seafood. No one in the middle of the seafood menu throws a fucking carp in there. It doesn't happen. Fish is fish.
Even though they're both fish. Technically.
Oh, yes.
No, I mean, they-
There's shellfish. Shellfish is what we consider seafood. You can catch fish in a fucking brook, in a creek, in a river. You're not going to find a fucking lobster there, Earl.
Okay. No,
If someone said, I'll go, "What kind of seafood do you have?" And they start talking about bass, I go, "Why are you fucking wasting my time? Move to the seafood."
Do you know what I think is the grossest is on a menu when it says "from the sea" as the section
I know. That is. Look,
of the sea.
menus are pretty awful. But you'll see even places that say fish and seafood as the
Yes.
name.
Okay, because I didn't know. I look at them one as the same to me.
That's because you don't
No,
eat
but-
any of it.
Yes.
But you know how like a restaurant will have a fish of the day? It's never lobster.
Right.
They're talking about
Okay.
a fish.
And like we have fresh seafood, if they go, "Here's a sturgeon," we're going to go, "What the fuck? What are you fucking doing? Trying to fuck around with me right now? I'll fucking burn this whole place down." Now, Earl, you admit that you don't like fish and you don't like seafood. And yet you're willing to argue a point that you couldn't be further away from being an expert.
Oh, but I know species, and I think
You really don't know species. If I asked you to name the amount of salamanders that there were, you would be stumped.
You can't lead off with goldfish and then say you know species.
You don't know anything about fucking fish, Earl. Nothing. Nothing.
I had a goldfish when I was a kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then I'll have you fucking go work at the aquarium, Earl. I didn't know that you were such an expert.
I didn't say it was, but,
You said you know species. You
No,
don't
but
know
I know,
species.
but I hear fish. I just hear fish, and like whether it's fried, whether it's
You're not even making sense now. Now you're just going in and saying the different ways that you can make fish. And by the way, every single time you say fried. All right, let me ask you this then. How does one saute a fish? Ba-na-na-na. Earl got caught. Earl got caught by saying he's an expert, but he doesn't know shit about fish, let alone any other species.
They're just one and the same to me.
I don't know about you, Earl. I mean, I don't mind a goddamn liar, but one that gets caught every time he goddamn lies, that's the biggest problem. Now, you're a Christian, right?
Yes.
Lying's a sin, Earl. It's a fucking sin.
I'm not lying. I'm just saying I don't know the difference.
You
There's
don't
no
know the difference of species. I'll give you a fucking species quiz. You'll come in fucking last.
I'm saying fish, it's all the same to me. That's all.
That goes to show you don't know species. You just said it's all the same to me.
But if I say fish, and if it's whether it's I don't know salmon, I don't know.
I know you don't know. We're not even talking about the differences of fish. I made the point. I don't view fish as being part of the seafood menu. You suddenly put on your science hat and started talking about sauteing something.
I don't know how to saute anything.
Earl, I'm going to fucking tell you right now, if truth was oxygen, you'd be dying on the floor. You'd be gasping for air. Like what would happen to fish in the bottom of the boat.
Do Chinese restaurants for the most
boy,
part?
here we go. This is so close to being racism, I can't
This is
stand
already
it.
Do
trouble.
Chinese restaurants for the most part have like tanks with just giant goldfish in them?
Yeah.
Or is that just like 2 Chinese restaurants I went to? Because I thought that was just a general thing, but somebody looked at me like I was crazy when I brought that up.
All right, say it again.
All right, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, for the most part, isn't there a fish tank there? Not to eat, just goldfish, decorative fish?
Koi.
Yeah.
Very often you will see koi, like big.
Okay, good. Thank you.
But you realize that most Chinese restaurants are takeout. There are no,
Like a
like
nice sit-down.
99% of them. They're fucking, like, what are you doing? You can't eat here.
No, nice sit down.
I can think of a lot of Chinese restaurants that don't have aquariums in them.
Fuck, I am.
What's the famous one up near your house? The one that's been
Ollie's?
No, the
No,
one,
that closed down.
The one on the west side is so good, right?
yeah. I haven't been there in years, but I know for a fact there's the dragon on the ceiling that goes all around.
I don't know it. I know there's Lily's. That's over here. That's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah, you fucking racist. That's what I was worried about.
This is
You
bad.
getting straight into racism.
I know Ruby Foods closed down.
It's Ruby Foods, not Ruby Foods.
Ruby Foods. Holy
You know what?
shit.
You're fucking giving Earl a chance to escape into species fucking land.
Oh my God, Ruby Food.
Why would you even ask the aquarium question? What the fuck was that about?
It was just it was bothering me for a whole week that I
It
brought that up
happens.
to somebody, and I just wanted to clarify that Chinese places did have fish tanks in them.
I'm sure some do, but it's no like definitive thing that if you want to have a Chinese restaurant, you have to have a fish tank.
Should be. I mean, it really adds to the decor.
Oh, I disagree. I don't want to eat seafood and look around at fucking living fish. It's like eating steak in a pasture. It's fucking gross.
Is it Shun Lee?
Yes, that's it. Shun Lee. You've never heard of it. It's
I've
on the
heard of
fucking
it.
west side.
I've heard of Shun Lee.
It's the most famous Chinese restaurant in New York. You could throw a rock from your house to it.
It's like just off of Central Park West or
Yes.
like Columbus or something.
And there's no fish tank in there.
Oh,
That's true.
There is a giant fake dragon. And I hope it's fake.
I've been to Shun Lee West before.
Of course you have. Of course. This weekend, I'm going to be with Rich Voss and Jim Florentine at Treehouse Comedy in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. TreehouseComedy.com for tickets. Earl, why don't you come on up and I can introduce you to the audience and you could give a short TED Talk on species. How about when you fucking tried to bull rush me screaming, I didn't say I was right.
I didn't
Yeah.
mean that at all.
No,
Not
it's
at all.
okay. You're taking a page out of this guy's fucking book from earlier.
No, I'm just.
No, everybody
just
wants it.
inventing-
You know, there comes a day that you're like, you know what? I'm going to kill my dad. That's the day that fucking comes around.
I've
Everybody
never
goes
had
through
that
it.
day.
Yet.
Mine died too soon, so
Vito, no.
I didn't get that chance.
Vito had the only father that ever died from embarrassment.
Yeah, I don't think my father and I, we never had real words. Like, you
don't speak words. What do you do? Sign language?
Not
back and
word-
forth?
no, like-
Oh, easy,
no,
Earl.
not
easy.
angry.
Easy.
Yikes.
All right? Starting to scare the white people. Easy.
we never had like an angry exchange.
Yeah.
that I
Never?
can remember. Not that I can remember.
Well, let me do it for him. You're 48 and you haven't moved out.
Well, that's going to change.
Whoa! Get a little pad, huh?
Yeah.
A little something for yourself, huh?
Yeah. No, I just want to
You
make
moving in with a young lady?
No. Not
No.
no horizon, no.
No. Why? Why didn't you ever, what's your friend, the baker's name?
Oh, Lily?
Yeah, why didn't you ever move in with Lily?
Well, she's almost ready to hit the altar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's see a picture of her guy.
I don't have one, but
Well, you must have her Facebook page, right?
I don't think she's on the media page.
She's not on any media at all whatsoever. There's no picture of this man that exists. He's the only fucking person whose face isn't on there. Is it you, Earl? Are you her mysterious boyfriend?
No, not at all.
You gonna be maid of honor in that fucking wedding? Gail,
You
is
be
it
like
every
that guy.
girl's dream to have a gay black best friend?
Yeah,
Is
and
that
I
the
live
thing?
the dream.
Is that the Kimmy Schmidt dream that everybody fucking has? You're the Kimmy
I highly
Schmidt?
recommend.
I don't know what
am.
the guy's name is.
Titus.
Thank you, TV man.
TV guy. Just made me hurt my neck.
What's the problem with you and that neck all the time?
I slept weird on it. It was like, I don't know. I think it was like I was breastfeeding in my sleep, and then I fell asleep weird on my neck.
It sounds like you got drunk and fucking slept on the steps.
I didn't.
They say you're supposed to sleep with a pillow between your legs.
Who says that?
I just read this new thing about the proper way to
Who are
sleep,
they?
where it's a pillow under the head and a pillow between the legs.
Guess what? I fucking do that all the time.
I do too.
too.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought it was something to be ashamed of. The way Earl was when he got caught not knowing anything about species or fish or anything.
No, it's good for your spine.
That's why my spine's in great shape.
The thing is, you do, because I always did between the knees, but actually, even more important, it should be all the way knee to ankle. Like, you should almost have like an L-shaped pillow so you can like cover knee to crotch and then knee to ankle.
Hold
That's
on.
what would be
Someone's going to have to draw this up for me. I can't even. Knee to crotch, and then it goes where? From ass
Then
cheek
knee-
to ass cheek?
from knee to ankle. So it should be like an L shape. And it should cover the whole leg area because your ankles touching is just as bad as the knees touching. You need space all around.
Earl was telling me that he always sleeps with a dildo in his ass. Is that a good thing? Or
No.
why do you have
told him
to
that?
say no?
Why would you
Do
tell
you
Ron
realize how guilty you look by going no?
Just
Everyone knows it's no. How would I know that if it was a fact? There's not one person who went, really? Ron's got all the inside information. I'm like, so as soon as you went no, I went like this. Wait a minute. Was that an unbelievable coincidence that I just came up with a joke, but Earl actually does it?
no. No.
See? There it is again.
That was two no's.
Maybe you and Lily have one of those double-headed fucking dildos. You sleep ass to ass. Fucking going back and forth like a seesaw all night.
There's no recreation.
And Vito, why don't you admit that you sleep with a stuffed animal between your thighs?
I do. It's a giant bear that my friends gave me for my birthday, and I use it as a pillow.
Your friends gave it to you?
Yeah, my
Bear for a bear, was that it?
That was the gimmick.
Do me a favor. Call your interns. Have them stock up more fucking water in here till it looks like Earl's goldfish tank in his house. I know species, motherfucker. How many species are there, Earl?
I don't know. Tons.
You tons.
I don't know.
Why did you say that you know species?
Well, I know fish to a degree.
You don't know fish.
No, but hold on. Let me rethink this because
Pull the
I think-
dildo out of your ass and fucking explain yourself.
Just think there was I don't see a difference between fish and seafood. That's all. That's it.
You don't eat either. That's why you say it. You might as well throw fucking boulders in there because you don't eat them either.
This is true. Yeah, but
I will say this though, like, Earl, if you think of it this way, if somebody said to you, "Oh, like I'm really in the mood for lobster," and you're like, "We don't have lobster, but we have crab," you would go, "Okay, I could take it." But if somebody says we have trout, you're like, "That's not even close." You wouldn't even. That wouldn't even be like the same type of craving.
I'm going to tell you something else. This is a belief of mine. I want every man in America to check it. I don't think you can get filled up on fish. I don't think that you could eat so much fish that you're stuffed. Like, oh, I couldn't eat another bite of fish. I don't think anyone's ever said that.
I feel like you would have to eat such a gross amount that it just seems disgusting. Like,
Right.
if somebody said I got filled up on fish, all I'd be thinking is, how much fucking fish did you just eat?
Guys,
I mean, like, if you're going out for fish, you're like, what is the potato and how many rolls am I getting? Because it's the only way I'm going to get filled.
what about a stuffed fish? If it's covered in breading
I know.
and cheese.
I know a lot about species. There's tons of them. Well, class, we're going to discuss the 3 tons of species that exist on this planet.
What fucking species does the spider fit into, Earl? And what are you doing with your napkin? You keep unfolding it and folding it.
no, it's just trying to dry it.
Oh, what did you do?
I was
Did you fucking piss in it?
no. It was
He takes a napkin out. It's
not a handkerchief.
That's the water.
I'm over there. This looks like he's a fucking bullfighter for a mouse. He's just. Who are you fucking surrendering to, Earl? Look, I'm going to tell you right now. It's fucking against the rules to pee into a fucking handkerchief and then act like it's a public fucking restroom.
Would never do that.
He takes a handkerchief and goes, "Is anyone in here?" Oh, good. Then I'll take a piss.
never do that.
Those answers are the funniest fucking things ever. Everyone knows you would not do it, Earl.
Just saying.
I know.
Matter of
The
record.
fact that you have to put it on the record
Yes.
makes me once again feel like I've just fell into something that you actually do.
Your Honor, I've never
used-
once in my life peed into a handkerchief. I wouldn't do it.
Where's this apartment of yours going to be, Earl?
Queens. Looking at probably going back to the hills. Forest
Really?
Hills. Would like to, but I wanted to go to Long Island City, but that's out of the question.
Well, you could always move in with Chris. He's not even there half the time. And you guys could be getting a lot of work done at night, communicating.
I like this.
He's a half and half guy. Half the time he's over in Brooklyn with his Chiquita. And then the other part,
You know, and I was never a Astoria guy. I never considered it part of Queens. And even though it is,
What?
it clearly is.
Yes, it's fucking. That is another crazy statement to make.
No,
Solidly in the borough of Queens.
I know
It's
this.
the first place in Queens any of us get to.
Where is it if it's not Queens?
I didn't say. I said did.
Is it Roosevelt Island?
I said I never considered
What
it like
would you consider it?
like people
Honky Town?
like people consider like I know hardcore Brooklynites. They don't consider Williamsburg part of Brooklyn, even though it clearly is.
Brooklyn.
I'm
I've never
not
heard anyone
saying
say that. You seem to say wherever white people are is not part of the borough. This is reverse racism.
All I'm saying is.
But why are you saying it? It's obviously a part of Queens.
That was the second thing that came out of my mouth. It's like clearly it's in Queens.
Right, but why are you considering that?
I'm on
What
the
is
other
it about
side.
them that you don't like?
I don't. I like it. I like Queens. Of course I love
we
the borough
know.
of Queens.
But why aren't you saying Astoria is
It was just never my kind of neighborhood.
Queens-
That's all.
Wow, what does that mean?
Astoria.
But why?
I like to be further. I like to be further out.
That's Long Island. Really, that's less Queens than fucking
Hold on.
Astoria.
Why are you okay with Koreatown and you feel comfortable there?
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
So
Yes,
good.
we hear you saying it. Stop repeating that.
I'm not.
We don't understand why you would take Astoria, which is obviously in Queens, and say you've never considered, or Williamsburg, which Spike Lee used to fucking live in, and say it was in fucking Brooklyn.
He was actually in Fort Greene.
Okay,
but
you.
I'm not saying that. There are people who have.
There's no one saying
What,
it.
there are people I know who are
echoing
from
masses
Brooklyn.
here.
People I know that are from Brooklyn, like Bed-Stuy, East New York. They never considered Williamsburg part of Brooklyn, even though it clearly is in Brooklyn.
They considered it Brooklyn. You're just saying because people don't like the people moving in to fucking Williamsburg now.
This was long before
When there was all black people.
This was long before it became the center of Hipsterville.
All right, the hipsterville thing is over.
way
dude.
past. It's just
These
rich white
fucking
people
people
there.
are 40 now.
Yeah. Although hipsters can't afford to live in Williamsburg anymore.
Or Bushwick.
Yeah.
Maybe they can all fucking move out to Kew Gardens with fucking
Ozone Park, maybe.
yeah. Fucking Earl considers those real people. I dropped Earl off one night when we were at a party in Jersey, and I'm heading back to the city, and I said, "Earl, do you want to ride?" I fucking drove so long. I was out past fucking 2 airports. I passed 2 airports. I'm like, Earl, the sun's coming up. Where do you fucking live?
About a mile from Kennedy.
And he wouldn't even say, pull up in front of my house. I had to drop him off down the fucking street. He didn't want to be seen with a white guy fucking dropping him off. And he goes like this, I don't want anybody to think I'm talking to the cops. I go, Earl, I'm not a cop. He's like, I'm just saying. You know, in the species, you're the cop species. You've said some pretty controversial things today, Earl. I'm just hearing from people that have booked the Treehouse Comedy Show at Windsor Locks. There's cancellations out of some of
Oh
the
my god.
reverse racist things that Earl said today.
Earl, white people are real.
Really? Then why do we smell like wet dogs, according to
Hey, Earl, do we? Be honest. Is that true?
Smell me, bro.
Dude, I was in a fucking elevator the other day with a guy that made me feel like I was in the worst Pakistani restaurant in history. And he didn't have any food with him. And he wasn't Pakistani. But his skin reeked of Pakistani fare. Earl, which you call seafood because you don't eat it.
You ever been in a cab that smelled really bad and you like want
Yep.
to put down
Have I?
you want to put the window down, but I don't want to make him feel bad.
Dude, try taking a fucking car with Fez if it smells even slightly bad. He fucking will start coughing and laying on the floor. And one time,
no.
this was in D.C., he opened the window and put his fucking whole body out of it. And I'm like,
Oh my
stop
God.
it, dude. The guy has cologne. He has no problem fucking telling people that his goddamn Episcopalian nose can't handle it. You think fucking Earl is reverse racist? I don't think it's Caucasians as people. There's something else. Still playing with that fucking hanky, aren't you?
I'm holding it.
Mr. Hanky.
He uses that fucking hanky as his fucking at-home condom. Earl, you've been on fucking fire today. I love the way that you insulted Chris Stanley. That was my favorite thing.
Me too.
That hurt.
You turned his asshole out, Earl. Congratulations. Well, we're getting ready to wrap this one up, Chrissy.
Yes, we are. You can get the brand new Bennington t-shirt. It's available now at ibangshop.com. ibangshop.com for the brand new Bennington t-shirts.
I love that T-shirt, man. That is a classic. And I call that shirt "Try and Find Earl." That's the name of that shirt. All right, we got to get out of here. I'll see you guys up in Windsor Lock. I'll be with Jim Florentine and Rich Voss. We're calling it the Sisters Doing It For Themselves tour. and we're really, really excited about it. Okay.